Flosstube, this is Amy. Hope you're having a great stitching week. For those of you that did 24 hours of cross stitch with Jen, I hope you are recovering. I suffered some repercussions from it, and I'll tell you my story. So I started off Friday morning. I know the marathon was Friday, Saturday, Sunday over the weekend, and I woke up about 1 o'clock in the morning after going to sleep at midnight. So instead of getting up and cross stitching, I stayed in bed and read and played games on my iPad and looked at the ceiling and all that good stuff when I should have just gotten up and stitched. So when morning came and I hadn't slept at all after that 1 o'clock wake up, I finally started stitching. So I could have got a lot more time in. But I decided that I would stitch on one project for the whole 24 hours. And I like how she split it up over 3 days, so we could do Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And y'all, I didn't like post anywhere or show pictures anywhere. I was just doing it knowing that other people were doing it along with me, and that was kind of fun. I did 3 different sessions, and I took pictures every hour, and I am going to attempt to insert those pictures here. And it was a little bit discouraging when I looked to see how little I got done in an hour, especially when at the very beginning, I think it was my second hour, I had to frog everything that I put in. I stitched incorrectly and had to go back and correct a mistake. So it was kind of fun to see, the progress over the 24 hours. I actually got about 28 hours in when all was said and done. I worked on my ink circles Cirque to Coeurs project, and it was funny because I had been working on it, and my husband walked through the living room and said, "So, did you start that one today?" I was like, "No, I've been working on it for a month, and I still have a whole lot to go." So I thought that was kind of funny. When I did my hourly pictures, I did not take it out of the Q-snap. I should have had a good one at least at the beginning, which my Flosstube last week will have a picture of that. But I didn't do that at the beginning for my actual little snippets I was taking every hour. I'll let you see my progress right now. So I'm not working it in order. They say to work 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6. Work it in order. I've got page 1 and page 4 are the 2 that I have left. I figured out the reason it says to stitch it in order is because as you're going along, they overlap the pages of the pattern, and you'll be going along and they'll have 3 dark shaded areas for the overlap on the next page. And that way you're not having to worry about the overlap. You just go ahead and stitch through, and then when you get to page 2, you know how to line it up, but you know you've already stitched those shaded areas. When you go backwards, sometimes it's a question of, oh, did I stitch that gray area or did I skip it and just, want to wait till that page came up. So that's why they suggest you stitch it in order from left to right. I just happen to be stitching it randomly. This is on 32 count Silvery Moon Lugana. with my Silks for You from Australia, the variegated floss. So this is progress from last week, and then the 28 hours of cross stitch. And I've stitched on it more since then, but I like the way it's coming along. Okay, my funny part, my repercussions. I was so sore after stitching for that long, even though I divided it into 3 sessions. Y'all, my shoulder, my back, my neck, they're still sore. In fact, they were spazzing. I was having muscle spasms. I was laughing at myself, saying no one would believe me that I injured myself cross-stitching, and it's really a ridiculous story. I need a better one. But I don't know. This is my arm that I hold my Q-snap with. I stitch with my right hand and hold with my left. So it was my holder hand that actually my shoulder, still just sore. I did my first couple of hours with my Lowry stand, which I haven't had for long, but I do like the two-handed stitching. After stitching for a couple of hours, I realized I wasn't making the progress on it as I would if I were one-handed stitching. So I just decided to ditch the stand and go back and do, holding the Q-snap. Since then, today I was stitching. Yesterday and today I went ahead and used my Lowry stand again to hold it, and I was one-handed stitching with my right hand instead of trying to two-hand stitch. So my little injury from 24 hours of cross stitch, which cracks me up because stars. But it was fun, and I hope those of you that participated enjoyed it as well. I did give my One Nation finish to my dad for his birthday. It was belated, but still all the same. It was fun, and I am going to insert a picture here, hopefully, of the cross stitch of my that my dad had, in a picture of us holding it. So he was super super excited, and my mom already has it hung up in his office there in his house. So I think that will be a fun souvenir. I'm still waiting on my Autumn Quaker from the Framers. It should be here this week, so that will be another finish that I can share with you. Let's see. I have been working a little bit, mostly on ink circles, because I have just gotten so hung up on that one. I worked a little bit more on my Prairie Schooler Santa. And this is on the 18 count call for Davos. Called for DMC. And that's about it. I think I told you guys last week that I was going to meet a girlfriend to crochet, and we did that this past Monday, and we ended up, of course, talking more than crocheting. But I started talking to her about cross stitch, and she used to cross stitch as well, and she has some pretty big projects that she did back in the day. She actually has cross stitches recently. I think she said it's 10 years ago, so she didn't leave it for as long as I did. Mine was more like 20 plus years ago. But it was fun to show her the new flosses and the new linens and fabrics that are available, the new patterns that are available. And I think that maybe she might have the bug now. So she ordered a couple of patterns. I believe she got a couple of ink circle patterns, different from the ones that I have. And then ordered some Silks for You from Australia. So she's going big right from the beginning and stitching some really with some really nice floss. And I look forward to helping her get back into the hobby since I'm back into the hobby. And it'll be nice to have someone here locally to stitch with. So as I was kind of looking at new projects and to see what else I might be wanting to do, since I really needed to give my shoulder a rest, I started looking at things, and it was like, oh my goodness, Jolly July. Might as well look at stuff for that. So, skip over Mania, skip over everything else, and just look at Jolly July. I don't know. I was just being silly. But I was looking at this pattern that I got in Albuquerque at Stitcher's Garden, and it's the ABC Samplers of Christmas. And I got both of these sets from a bargain basket. So excited. And it's the whole alphabet. So this first one has half the letters and the second one has the other half. And I've never seen this pattern anywhere else. They are the ABCs of Christmas, and they have different Christmas carols, and I think they're really pretty. So what I thought I would do is just pull out some true linen to stitch on. And I pulled this Irish linen from Charles Craft that I got at Michael's. It's DMC even weave, 28 count, tea-dyed Irish linen. And it is so pretty. It's really, really pretty. So I just did a little start on it. It was funny, the very first thing that I picked, let me see if it was this one. I think it was this color. The very first floss that I was going to use perfectly matched. Maybe it wasn't that one. I think I may have gotten rid of it. It perfectly matched my fabric. So I thought I'd just see what the called for colors were. So I went ahead and went to the next darker shade of it and just got a very small start on this. This is where the A is going to go for the first one. And I thought I would just stitch as many as I could on the fabric and not cut it until afterwards. If I stitch them all together, the piece would be huge. So I think I will stitch them separately. And I just really, the pictures on that pattern were not pretty on the package. So I thought I would just kind of play with it. I do, when I get all the colors together, let's see if I can kind of show you. Without them all falling. Let me see. These are the colors. So they're kind of light, kind of vintage looking, all DMC. And I just thought, I want to see what it would look like if I tried part of one or even one whole one to see if that was something I might want to stitch for Jolly July for a start a day for Christmas ornaments. So that is what I've been doing, short and sweet. I really am hoping that I get over this weirdness that I have so I can stitch some more. I've been stitching and then I irritate it and it's like, why do I keep stitching? Because I want to keep stitching, and y'all know how it is. We don't want to put it down. So I appreciate each one of you. It's so much fun to hear from you. I love your comments. Thank you for liking the videos. Thank you for subscribing to the videos. I am so excited that we have our community, and I cannot wait to show you what I have next week. It's a finish that a lot of you are stitching, and I cannot wait to show it to you. I think it will be ready next week. So thank you for spending time with me, and I will see you again soon. Bye, y'all.